All right, Year 6, for our shared reading this week, we're going to be looking at two different texts again about our Amazon River dolphins. So our first one is from Kittle, and we're going to be looking at how they've used their introduction. So what have they put in their introduction, and what have they not put in their introduction? What have they put further down into their text? So today we're going to be looking introduction.
Yeah, and it's really
I'm going to
important
go
as
to that.
when we go to it here. As we read through it, Mrs. Moore and I have already read through this. They do give some information about river dolphins in this introductory section. And they do give us a bit of an idea about what they are, where they live, and what they look like. But they don't go into total detail. They don't put all their information here because later in the text, as you guys can see here, they've got different subheadings where they go into more detail about these animals. So we can see here in those paragraphs here, they do give us a bit of an indication. They tell us some information about river dolphins, but they don't give everything away just yet, because that's what the purpose of the text here is. When they use the different subheadings, they go into more specific detail in those different subheadings about different parts and different information about the animals. But in that introduction, it kind of gives us an indication of where they live in like brackish or fresh water, how big they are, and then also the differences between males and females there as well.
Okay, so what your activity today is to tell us what information did they put into that text. So you just need to give us some dot points. So if you go back to that to the slide, so we can see, I can see some numbers. So straight away I can see they've told me how big they are. They've told me the length of them, and they've told me how much they weigh. So that's something they've told us. They've told us the length and the weight of these animals. They also tell us about their relatives at the bottom of that first paragraph, or the first paragraph, the bottom of the, they talk about their closest relatives. So that's another thing they've told me about. At the very beginning, they've told me about how they're mammals. So they've told me the classification of this. Mr. Martin has recently just said that that last paragraph, they told us about the difference between the females and the males. So that's another thing. At the beginning of that paragraph, they've also told me about their habitat. They haven't told me a lot about their habitat, but they've told me some things about their habitat. So all those things that I've just mentioned, they're dot points that you can be putting on that slide.
And the thing for today, guys, is that we want you to focus. You can have a read of that website yourself as well. You can have a read just the introductory section. So just that first part before we start using subheadings. And then you guys will need to start to collect and write some facts, information given in that introductory section in this part here.
And remember, I have just given you those answers.
So
pause and type what I just said.
All right.
Thanks, Year 6.
Thanks, guys.